This is the Friday edition of Morning Live, and it's time now for a profile feature. And we do have Shapa Wakung'uma, a judo veteran. He's an author of a book, Judo, the Sport That Leveraged My Life. So before we actually get ourselves distorted with everything else, let's get the book out of the way, right? Yeah, looks good, isn't it?
It looks very good.
Yeah.
That I would definitely love to read.
You'd love to read?
Yes.
Shapa, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much
Good morning.
for your time.
Good to see you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I saw you.
And good morning, Patricia.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think let's get the book out of the way. What's the story with the book?
Well, it's the history of judo in the first chapter. Oftentimes we tend to digress into making comparison between the judokas of yesteryears and the judokas of today. And that today we are able to get Commonwealth gold medals or continental medals, I think bears little relevance. We have to always remember that, in fact, what we have, or what we revel in terms of our celebrations today, has a genesis in those that were there before us. So that is what is contained in chapter 1, to acknowledge those that were there before us, because we actually owe whatever success we talk about today to those particular individuals. Chapter 2 is dedicated to Father Jude McKenna, the man that has helped us so much to improve our sport in Zambia. It talks about him, in particular reference to the Street Kids program that he so much cherished. For over 50 years, he was in Zambia promoting the sport of judo. And I also highlight individuals like Matilda Mwaba in that particular book, who took over the mantle of judo at a certain stage. I talk about Alfred Foloko as well in chapter 2. But all that is all to the goodwill of Father Jude McKenna. Chapter 3 is dedicated to a special man, Sensei Linosi Francis, who was my coach. At the time that I won my most prestigious medals, he was my coach. So I dedicate that chapter 3 to him. But I also talk about the other coaches, like Francis Molalipimile, Boas Munyonga, Matthews Punza, and a lot more others. Chapter 4 is Judo, My Leverage. That's basically my story. What prompted me to become a judoka, why I thought judo was going to leverage my life, and a lot more stories in there. Chapter 5 is coping with the politicized police. So if you want to know what happened in Sesheke, when the curtain was almost closing down on me, therein lies the story. Chapter 6, which is the very last chapter, is talking about literally the police, my retirement, and masking the truth. So chapter 5 and chapter 6 are interconnected. So basically that's the book. It revolves around the values of judo, because I think you should understand that values are enduring beliefs that influence attitudes and choices.
Is chapter 5 and 6 much more detailed than a little chat we had once? I want to skip to chapter 5 and 6.
Why? You want to skip to chapter 5 and chapter 6? Well, it is as much detailed as you want it to be.
Yeah.
I think it brings out all the issues. But what is of more concern to me is really to highlight the fact that the philosophy of life is that when you fall down, you must be able to pick yourself up. And as a matter of fact, that's the first lesson in judo. When you come to my club, if you find me teaching, I'll teach you how to fall, and at the same time how to pick yourself up. That is called break falls, or ukemi in Japanese. So you see, you can literally translate the philosophy or the values of judo, which one of them is courage, that every time you fall down, you must be able to pick yourself up. So that's basically what is contained in chapter 5 and also chapter 6 of the book.
When was this book written?
Well, I've been writing this book. Well, in fact, I started writing it in the year 2020, thereabout.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. I was almost done by 2021, but then there was a turn of event after the change of government. There are a few things that I had to add up, and those are contained in chapter 6 of the book. So it was launched just recently on the 9th of February.
Yeah, I followed that.
You followed that?
Yes.
It was a very interesting launch, I think.
Prying eye.
Yeah.
Okay. But then one would wonder, so the chapter 6, does it contain the latest developments with you now being always with the president?
Well, the early moments when I was picked up as or given the assignment as the presidential ADC. Yes, you find that a bit of that in chapter 6 of the book.
All right, let's now get to the book.
Okay.
Is it in the stores though? Can someone?
Oh
find it in the
yes,
stores?
of course. You can actually find it at Kulima Tower, 6th floor, Salt Trend Publishers, but it's also on Amazon.
Okay.
I think because of the overwhelming demand, we are, I think, reproducing more copies, and eventually you see it in
the
Book World.
bookstores, one can pick a copy there.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
All right
Indeed.
then.
Sorry, how much is it?
400 kwacha only.
Oh, okay.
Don't you
Only.
think? Don't you think it's
Patricia-
worth it?
Patricia,
It's
this is
worth
what I
it.
need
It's
for my birthday.
definitely worth it.
Can you pay this for my birthday?
Huh?
You get this for me
No
on my
problem.
birthday.
Anything for you, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I say
Now,
anything? No. I take that back.
let's I'll check with you later. Let's now just roll back a little bit and get to know who Shapa is. Where were you born from? What kind of family do you come from?
Okay. January 23, 1976. By the way, Patricia and I
That's my
almost.
age rate.
Yeah.
That's my age.
Yeah, so I was born in Kalabo, raised by Mr. David Shapa and Miss Esther Matakala Shapa. Both my parents are in Mongo. Did my primary school education, part of it in Southern Province, Charles Wanga Primary School. I went to Malengwa Primary School in my 6th and 7th grade. Secondary school, St. John's Secondary School, from grade 8 to grade 12. 94, that's when I completed. 95, I was in Lilai. The story is there. So how I actually became a police officer. But of course, using judo as a stepping stone. And then, of course, over the years, I've been practicing judo. I should mention that I started judo at the age of 12 when I was in Mongo. And throughout, I was in my junior ranks, I was a national champion, representing mainly Western Province in the 30 kg, 35 kg, and up to 40 kilos. When I came to Lilai in 95, 96, thereabout, I joined the national team, and instantly I became Zambia's best 60 kilo. Of course, winning my first gold medal in 97. Thereabout. And from then on, I think a couple of international tournaments, some of them very tough. The All Africa Games, my first ever in 99. Then went to Canada in 2000 where I got one of my most prestigious medals, and that is Commonwealth bronze during the time of Matilda Mwaba as president of the Zambia Judo Association then, and under Stephen Kailo as coach. I've been to a couple of international events, including the World Judo Championships in Germany, in Japan, and I think Brazil as well, and just a lot of other regional events. But suffice to mention, I'm a 2 times Commonwealth Judo champion, of course, 66 kg Commonwealth Judo champion in the Young Masters category, and I won the bronze medal in the 2007 All Africa Games in Algeria. So it's, I think relatively I've done quite well. 12 years of being in the national team representing my country at that level. And of course, you know, the flip side of it is that I'm a police officer, served as sports coordinator at police college.
So this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Let's take a short break and have a look at the stories that are making headlines, and thereafter we'll be able to quickly just run through some of the interesting aspects of your life. This is the Friday edition of Morning Live. Let's take a short break and we get straight into our headlines. Those are the news headlines. Top of the hour 8. You do have to stay watching TV2, the power of television. We've got news every after 2 hours. The next one will be at exactly 10. Let's get to move on now. We're speaking to Shapa Wakung'uma, judo veteran and author of a book called Judo, the Sport That Leveraged My Life. And before we took that break, I promised that when we come back, we'll touch issues to do with friends. Who's your best friend, for instance?
Well, my best friend is Valentine Mbangu Chinyama, but I have a couple of friends.
Yeah.
So Mbangu Chinyama is a colleague of mine that I grew up with from Western Province, and we're still friends up to now. But the others, of course, like Muvita Nawa and Bismarck Muvita Nawa, who's Deputy Commissioner of Police in Lusaka, and a couple of them, I've got a couple of friends. But yeah, those are very close to my heart.
What do you call when you need money?
Well, Mbango Chinyama is the first one because even when I don't ask for anything, he'll be able to say, I think let's share this.
I need that kind of friend. I need that kind of friend in my life.
Yeah, so yeah, basically that. But I've got a couple of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sort of food do you eat? What's your diet like? Obviously, as a sports person, you must have interesting foods
First
that
of
you
all,
turn to.
I'm a typical Zambian.
Okay.
So Shima, obviously, with chicken, village
Mm-hmm.
chicken. I'm very selective, of course, when it comes to relish. I'm trying to do away with beef now. Yeah, veggies, a lot of vegetables form part of my diet, and fruits, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Music.
Afunika's music. You're not making me dance
No,
today.
no.
I love the patriotism.
But of course, yeah, I love anything that is nice. But I think Funika's music is so soothing to not just my heart, but many of those out there. And I spoke to him about that. I gave him a copy of my book just to appreciate the fact that I appreciate his music. But I listen to virtually anything that is nice, Zambian music. I listen to reggae, Lucky Dube, and country music as well, Don Williams. But overall, I think Afunika occupies that space more than anybody else. Yeah.
You're still single.
No. My firstborn could be your size, Jason.
I thought you were friends. Why are you now turning against me?
No, just the fact that we occupy the same space in the gym doesn't make you my friend.
Thank you very much. Please let me know that.
Patricia may claim that.
At least he's not bullying. No, there's a man he usually bullies.
Sure.
There's a man he does sports with, Mr. Yachts. He bullies this one, but I'm glad he's found his match. At least he can't bully you.
No,
yes.
no, you can't. No, you can't.
So you talked highly of Father McKenna.
Yeah.
Is he one of the people that you look up to? One of the people that inspire you?
Yeah, Father Jude McKenna inspired me a lot because he discovered me at the age of 12, and when he enrolled me, I remember he was scribbling in his red folder, famous red folder. He told me one thing that I'll never forget, that I've never forgotten, that I think you're going to be one of my superstars in the near future. So he coached me at an early stage. He presided over me during the time that I was, raw, until such a time that I won all the medals that I have. In fact, the success in the Zambia Judo Association is attributed to him. He epitomizes the successes that we have scored in as far as judo is concerned. So I look up to him as somebody that has been so inspirational to me. Yeah.
You hadn't concluded with family.
Well, Peggy Chilembo is my wife. She works for Zesco now, but she's seconded to Zesco more or less, but she's a police officer. David, firstborn, Wakung'uma Jr., there's Melai, Limpo, and last but not the least, Walusungu.
Yeah.
So David is Jason's age mate.
I think so. How old are you, Jason?
I wouldn't let him escape you.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. So what's your vision like for the next 5 years as Bilachigo?
Well, I think I keep on interacting with the little ones. I've got so much passion in trying to inculcate this art of judo in the little ones, so that every time I have space, I visit a judo room or a dojo and practice with the little ones, so that I can share the knowledge that I have with them. But I look forward to just doing my own stuff with the little ones, the Shapa Wakung'uma Judo Academy or something like that, as and when I have the time to do so. So basically, it is just to also help the administrators out there who are managing the sport of judo to interact and just share ideas to make sure that we still grow this sport of judo.
Can someone my age start judo?
Why not?
Just check.
Except you will not be as competitive as the little ones. Yours would be to obviously look at defensive tactics, the defensive tactics part of it, self-defense if you wish. And so you could. In fact, what you do, Patricia, is more or less of a combat or a defensive kind of sport. When you kick and punch, the only thing you need to
That's boxing.
That's
I'm
boxing.
doing boxing at the
But
moment.
then you can combine that with, grappling. That is judo. So I can teach you how to grapple and make someone fall and perhaps pin them down.
Is
So
that you giving me a subscriction to come to your academy and be
Why
part
not?
of-
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yes.
can.
Thank you
I
very
mean,
much.
we can always do that.
I will
Yeah.
definitely come through.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you,
Greatly
Joseph.
appreciate.
Yeah.
There you are. Patricia, hand over the pen. You don't want him to.
Also, I'm autographing it to Patricia, of course.
Yay!
Not
Thank
you.
you very much.
So Jason, if you want your copy, you know where to find me.
Yeah, you can go to the
Yeah.
bookstores. You can go to Amazon. It's fine.
yeah.
Did you hear that? That you can go to Amazon.
You can order your book there.
Tell me the price, by the way.
It's only 400 kwacha.
Okay.
Yes.
But I
It's
already have a copy, don't I?
But your birthday is still far. Just get one now. I can get something else for you on your birthday. Thank you very much, Mr. Wakung'uma, for this
There you have
copy.
it. So Sharp Wakung'uma is basically autographing that particular book to Patricia Ellis. We obviously going to be taking a very short break. When we come back, we still have 3 interviews to deal with. We shall be speaking to the founder of Buy Z campaign, and also
Yep,
speaking
very
to Dr. Mpande from the Resident Doctors Association of Zambia, and also we shall be obviously engaging there's some comedies taking place, obviously. Patricia, maybe that's something that you can do during the course of this weekend.
You
It's
reckon,
exciting.
you reckon I need some laughter in my
Yes,
life?
need some laughter.
No, I'm already happy right now. I've
Yeah?
got this book, so
Yeah.
more laughter over the weekend will
Yeah.
just complete my...
Sharpa, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's quickly take a break. We're back very shortly. Stay with us, Sharpa. Where are you going? You had to leave just now.
I thought you released me.
No, I released you to we're done so that we
okay.
could.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And
okay.
I'll tell you when to leave.
Okay, not a
I'm
problem.
powerful.
Most obliged.
All right, let's take a break. We're back shortly.